Hey everyone, it's Skip Ranke. I am the host of the Main Street Marketing Podcast, where we talk about everything and anything marketing. My other host is Emma Opperman-Vogt. She is out still on maternity leave, but she's got a healthy baby boy, Lincoln, and she'll be back next month for our July episode. But for this month, we are going to be talking about what makes people ticked when they need to buy things. What's gonna motivate them to actually start to pick up the phone or to make that click to convert, to make that actual purchase or to contact a service for something that they need in their lives, or maybe they don't need. It happens that way. Case in point, I'm the person that infomercials are made for. But today we have Kyle Jassoy. He is my nephew. He is here to talk a little bit about that. We've got Grace Greiner. She works at a law firm above us here at our office. And we have Nikki Fisher. She's part of the Paragon Marketing Group team. And we're going to talk about what makes us buy. So Kyle, I'm going to start it off with you. When has there been a time in marketing where something moved you to make you want to actually click and buy something?
I mean, it happens pretty frequently, I would say. A lot of the times, like, social media tries to get you, like, frequently. And then my initial reaction is kind of to pull back from that a little bit, because you're always being sold. Like, so if I'm on my phone, I feel like most things are targeted pretty well these days. So it's me trying to filter and navigate what I actually need. And a want versus a need is a lot different, like, buy response, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like, so we just needed to do our air conditioner. That's a need. You need, like, I wanted that before it got hot. So that was a go search, find something local, do some research, and then get quotes. But if it's something smaller, it's like shoes or something that's a purchase I could do on my phone, then, like, that's a very different, like, movement or a very different emotion.
Yeah, you see a lot of ads when you're obviously on social media. Everyone gets targeted in their way, shape, or form. But what about you? How about you?
I'm a big social media shopper, unfortunately. But I think,
or fortunately, for wherever you're buying from.
Well, this is true.
Yeah, right.
I think when I don't have a lot of, like, needs right now. I think where I'm at in my life, I just kind of set up my whole life. So I see a lot of things on Instagram and TikTok where I see them and I go, ooh, I would love one of those. And then I have a list of things where I know that I would like them, and I put them to the side in a little categorized list. And then when I have the money, then I go and buy them.
Okay.
But it does, like, anything that's catching my eye.
The shiny quarter.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. Okay. How about you, Nikki?
I think I'm a lot like Grace. There is the needs versus the want. I think needs, I take a little more time to research, to think about. I might be including my husband in on those
Sure.
decisions. But I think the wants, social media is a place I go to a lot. And a lot of things can be impulse purchases for me. So I know if there's something I look at and I say, I'm going to think about it for a little while, that algorithm picks up, and then all of a sudden now every platform I'm seeing that one thing that I looked at.
Yep.
And so I think, the goal is for these companies, is the more the person sees it, the more they're going to be prompted to purchase it.
It's like when you say you want to buy a yellow car, and all of a sudden you see yellow cars everywhere. Just it's kind of, you put it out in the universe and it kind of comes back at you. But you guys both said something that everybody that we talk to, in our line of work in the marketing world. But you both said, I did some research. So talk to me about reviews and how important reviews are, and testimonials, and seeing what they do online. How important, how often, I mean, you say look at that. Do you do that for all your purchases for reviews, or is that just for, like, the bigger purchases?
I don't think it necessarily is a big purchase that I would do research for, but I do love looking at, for instance, if I'm buying clothing online, which is a topic in and of itself, because I think nowadays a lot of the malls are closing. We're not able to walk in and try clothes on like we used to. So a lot of things you buy online that you maybe wouldn't have before. So I really rely on what people are saying. For instance, if I'm looking at a pair of jeans and I'm looking at the reviews, and I've got someone that says, I'm 5'4", 140 pounds, I wore this size, then I can relate to that and say, okay, that would probably work for me. So a lot of times I'm looking at that for just sizing and also quality.
For clothing.
Yeah, for clothing. So that's something I really look at reviews for. Electronics, same thing.
Yeah.
I'll look at reviews for. I'm trying to think of other purchases. Sometimes it's even things like skincare, things like that. I'll see, well, what are
I
people
was gonna bring
saying?
that up.
Yeah.
You do too?
Yeah, skincare is probably my biggest one that I look at reviews for.
Yeah.
Skincare and probably like tennis shoes and workout.
Like any health
ones.
product, honestly, doesn't even
Yeah,
have to be skincare.
honestly.
Like, because there's so many different avenues you can go on. Especially like we have kids, so it's like, what's recommended, what's not recommended for sensitive skin, non-sensitive skin, eczema. Like
Sure.
like, there's just so many things you can like start going down rabbit holes with healthcare products specifically, or skincare products.
really,
That's
and
that example.
I was gonna say like hair care too.
Hair
I'm
care,
the same
yep.
way. Like I have a dry scalp or I have an oily scalp during the summer. Like
If you have hair, you got to worry about it.
Yeah, seriously.
But you got to, as a bald guy, you got to worry about a dry scalp. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and then my answer for the reviews thing is I'm a little bit more wary of reviews specifically because a lot of times they get boiled down to like a number. Like, so if we've been shopping with Amazon for like a long time. We're trying to pull that back a little bit, but a lot of things now get sponsored or populated up to the top based on like 4.5 or 4.7. It's like some of those are bots and some of it is not real and a lot of it's drop shipped from China. Like you have to be really careful now when you're shopping on Amazon, where it used to just be name brand stuff that was on Amazon back when I started purchasing.
Really interesting that you bring that up because for the longest time, I mean, I would just go out and I'd look for something. Hey, this looks good, and I would just buy it.
Wouldn't that be nice?
It'd be great. But I learned my lesson when they wanted a humidifier here in the office, right?
I also need to buy one of those right
Yeah,
now.
and so I bought this. I looked up online. I looked up on Amazon. I said, "Oh, this looks cool," and I bought it. And I thought it was a humidifier that was like, just a small desktop humidifier. This thing is 4.5 feet tall.
Pretty big.
And it looks like a robot. and it was like one of these things. That was my lesson that I learned. I was like, boy, you really got to do your research now. And I still get made fun of for that purchase, but it was pretty funny. But you really have to do the research. But I have been finding myself, when something says they got 4.8, 4.9 stars, I really read down into like the 4s and the 3s and just really learn about, I think you get more honesty when you get down, because you know the first like 5 is, oh, I love this product. This is great.
Right.
And it's like, okay.
Some of the ones are great too.
Something that is good reading.
Yep.
Yeah, some of that is good. But when you see these products and they have like somebody has like 500 reviews and they have one false one.
Yeah.
It's like, well, how authentic is that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say like business reviews are a little bit can be more heartfelt. Like you can see the reviews and you can also see the ones too where somebody's just really disgruntled, and that's like easy to like pick and choose depending on the rating. Like for myself, if I'm actually reviewing something, a lot of the times it's quality and longevity of the product that I want. So for example, for whatever reason, I got into boots a long time ago where it's like if you get real leather or real soles, like they can last 10, 15, 20 years, especially like work boots. So I started finding resources on Reddit and YouTube of people that either like cut them apart to see what they're made of, like what the insides are, and they've done this for a long time. So then I just like start putting all of those resources together if I'm making a bigger purchase, or I've used small review sites even for like a spatula in the kitchen, like one that is like a health, almost like less plastic, better, might last longer,
right?
Things like that. Yeah.
I have to give you a spatula before you leave. We have a Paragon Marketing Group spatula that everybody swears is the best.
It
one
is
they've
the
ever
best spatula.
So I'll have to give them before you leave. Well, we've talked about products and reviews here. Talk about services. So have you guys? Do you look at reviews like for like oil change places, or like you're saying an air conditioner?
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of research did you do when you did that purchase for the service of the company we're going to use?
Some of it's trial and error, and some of it's like local. Everything will say it's local or family, but a lot of, maybe not smaller, but like some businesses are bought up into like a group or PE, and AC and HVAC is one of the big ones where we've used a few different services and they just come in with an iPad and they try to sell you like stuff you don't need. And that's happened frequently. So like they're off the list. And then recently we found a few people that are local that, I mean, like you might have to wait a little bit longer and they might be almost like more expensive besides that they're not selling you things. But a lot of the times, like you get an actual person with real service, and it's a team of 3 to 5 people instead of a fleet of 100 trucks that are there. Yeah.
And that environment in and of itself has been huge over the last 18 to 24 months.
Yeah.
We've seen that in the people that we've worked with. But I know like when I'm looking at something with my car to get something serviced, I'm looking for a new mechanic. I'm doing more research now. I think now more than ever I have in the past. Just because of some of the things that are happening in the PE world, but people are being bought up and they're not family owned anymore.
Yeah.
But what about
Private equity?
Yeah, private equity. Yeah, private equity firms or venture capitalists that are just buying up people and creating just monopoly of sorts in areas. But what about you? When it comes to services, I mean, do you do anything like research on that side? I mean, do you get anything with people calling you for the law firm?
Oh, people call the law firm all the time asking about, I wouldn't say like our values, but kind of what, the feeling is. And it's really nice because, as you were saying, I do work at a very small family focused law firm.
Right.
So we always try to relate to our clients about that as well. But on my personal side, it's interesting. I don't really do research online. I'll ask around. My entire friend group continues to do that. Like if we need something new, like, hey, do you know anybody, or do you have a good place where I can go?
So you lean on each other for your own insights. Okay.
So instead of really like, going online and doing the research, and I think it's because what you were talking about earlier, the bots and all number based, we just don't want to sift through all of the BS that's out there.
Yeah,
so
if you go to Google and HVAC near me, the first 5, at least 4, are going to be sponsored results that are going to be the biggest Midwest HVAC companies that have a fleet of trucks. Where it's like if you at least ask your friends, I've gotten burned by 2 or 3 companies in the area, and I'd be like, don't use those. Or here are the people I use. And I just did that with the HVAC, and I've done it with other things like cars and services.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the other day my friend asked me, and I said, oh, let me call my car guy. I'll see if he's available really quick. Give me 1 second.
Interesting. How about yourself?
I was going to say the same thing. For me, with services, I'm really referral based.
Yeah.
I've got a pretty wide network of professional and personal connections that I'll find out. And fortunately, even for our company, we work with so many diverse companies that I almost feel like just in our network, we have such a great pool of people to, grab from. Recently we've been looking at redoing our driveway, and I have people in the field that I know that I've talked to. Sometimes I'll just put something out on social media. Hey friends, looking for a reputable asphalt company. Does anybody have any recommendations? I've gotten really good referrals that way of just going out to the network, maybe not people that I am calling on the phone, but again, people, out of my 1,000 friends on Facebook or whatever.
Well, and you can trust that network of people too, because in many cases you've known so many of those people for so long that they're not going to feed you a line of BS.
Right.
Or they're not going to lead you astray just because of the fact that they know this person, where they know that they got a good product and a good service.
I feel like referrals are the best form of marketing
Always.
You can have.
Word of mouth and referrals is the best type you can ever have.
Yeah,
but,
definitely for services.
Oh, yeah. But in the world of marketing, we're all looking for new people. We're all looking for, new ways in order to grow our business from the pool of prospects. And sometimes what happens is, you get organizations that use FOMO, or the fear of missing out, in order to generate interest or to get quick responses. Have any of you guys ever got into a FOMO where you're just like, oh, fear of missing out, I don't want to miss out on this deal, where you're like, I got to get this, and then you reacted to an ad that you saw? I know that I have.
I definitely have.
Have you?
Yeah, but I reacted to a flight deal like that.
Oh, a flight deal?
Yeah.
Like a plane?
So an airplane
all right.
flight.
Well, what else would it be? Oh, I suppose a liquor flight.
So it wasn't that.
Sorry, my mind went there. That's terrible. All right.
No, I got an ad for Southwest. I think it was on Facebook or Instagram, and it said that they had $49 flights all over the country, and part of it is I have this thing where I'm trying to hit all 50 states before I'm 30.
Oh, nice.
So
wow,
I'm only have 6 left, pretty close. But I was like, well, perfect. I have to knock off a couple places anyway, and none of the places were on, in one of the states that I needed to go, and I still bought a flight. So just because it was there, and I didn't want to miss out on the deal that was a really cheap flight to somewhere new. So
where did you end up going?
Yeah,
just curious.
seriously.
I went to Tampa. It's nowhere crazy.
Well, that's fine. What about you? What about yourself? Anything?
Not recently, I don't think, but yeah, so many things are marketed at you that eventually a % off is going to hit you. I used to do it a lot you were mentioning clothes and shoes or something. a lot of the times I'd probably been looking at something for a while, and eventually the price or a discount gets to the point where that's all I needed to pull the trigger. Because I'm not a list person. I don't like put everything on a list, but I kind of keep a mental note of like, I've looked at this semi recently, and then if a deal comes up, or sometimes they'll send you the deals because they know you were looking, which is even crazier. That's probably more it. I don't often just have like cash at the ready that I'm trying to throw at things. I try to sit on my purchases a little bit so that I can give them the proper time to marinate. Otherwise, I would be on Instagram and just getting fleeced all the time. Yeah.
Right.
I was going to say, recently with some Amazon purchases, I had redone a room in our house, and I had my eye on a painting that I wanted that was on Amazon. And, you know, you'll see in red, only 8 left, only 4 left, act soon. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if I don't buy this today, it's going to be gone. And so sometimes that'll prompt me to do it faster because of their inventory.
That's hit me a couple times.
Yeah.
A lot of Prime Day stuff is like that, where it's like all
Oh,
lightning
yeah.
deals. So that whole experience has stopped me from doing that, because I used to be like, oh, look at all these great deals. And then you look at the price history, it's like $10 cheaper than it would have been at another time. So it's like that whole, like, look at the sale, do the thing. I don't love that. That's not how I want to shop, especially when it's always there. Like, Amazon isn't going anywhere. Those products are going to be there. Again, what am I saving myself? Maybe $20,
Right.
So I try not to purchase that way as much now, because I thought I was getting these great deals, and sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't.
I feel
It's like a lot of headache for nothing.
Yeah, right.
I feel Kohl's department store does that a lot, where I almost feel like they jack the price up and then discount it to make you feel like you're getting that, you know, you scratch off that card, 30%, and then you think you're getting this great deal, and they always tell you at the end, oh, you saved X amount of dollars. But it's like, it really should have cost exactly the sale price that I paid for. You know?
I stopped that whole thing. You know, I just couldn't do that 30% stuff off anymore. I was like, this is such bogus.
Yeah, I feel like it's a marketing gimmick.
Oh, it is. But
Yeah,
I mean,
for the longest time, it was Kohl's Cash too. It's like you
Yeah,
get percent off,
Cash,
and like
yeah.
it's a rebate technically.
Yeah, yeah, it
And
was-
you have to go back and use it in a particular amount of time on
worked.
particular product. Oh yeah, I mean it's a
but
very
it
successful.
worked for a long time, and all of a sudden everybody, I think it's interesting as you say that, because with the Kohl's Cash, or they changed how that whole system worked after a certain amount of years, because it just didn't work the same way anymore.
Yeah.
And I think people are kind of like, nah, I'm not doing that anymore. And then I think they saw some dips. But we're talking about online purchasing a lot, which is fine. I mean, everybody does it. But do you find yourself saying, I could go get this locally?
I find myself saying that a lot, especially when I think about it. I think what I really think the most about it is when I'm looking for clothes online and I go to Amazon, and then I think about the amount of clothes stores that we have in downtown Oconomowoc, where I could literally just park my car and walk up and down the street and spend the same amount of money and probably get cuter clothes and help the economy in Oconomowoc.
Yeah.
I think that I've recently started doing that a lot more often.
I've been starting to do that a lot more
Yeah.
the past 6 months. Because every other day I was getting a box delivered, and I'm sitting there thinking, well, I could get, if I just planned my route up or did my day a little differently, I could stop and do these things and get it from somebody locally. I mean, when it comes to hardware, or if it comes to something like, you could buy, I go to the local hardware stores.
Yeah.
I don't go to Home Depot. I go to the local Ace.
love my
I still
Ace
go to
hardware.
Home Depot pretty
I do go to
frequently.
Home
It's
Depot
just
as
like
well.
the local Ace doesn't always have what I want, and sometimes the prices are so different that it's tough to do the comparison shopping. But yeah, like almost all hardware purchases, I've never even looked online once. It's always go in, because like you're talking about cup links and exact like 1/4-inch measurements
Yeah.
of different, like sometimes you have to fit something, and I still get it wrong at the store. So like I have to go back and do it. Could you imagine getting a box shipped and then like you have to wait a day, or even if you get it
No.
same day, then you go try to fix it and it doesn't work? It's like, that's freaking obnoxious. So,
But then there was a time I was looking for something this past weekend, and I went to every single hardware store, and I went to the Home Depot. I went to all
have
these
it.
different places, and nobody had it. And I had to order it online because they're the only ones that had it. So it's like, okay, I mean, there is that as well.
I think part of the time too, I know like my husband's run into this with, like, he likes to do his own car repairs if he can for certain things. And he'll say a lot of these auto parts stores just don't carry the stock anymore, that they order it too. So he's saying, well, I might as well just go online and order it myself if that's all that they're doing. So they just don't keep the inventory like they used to.
I have noticed that, or they say you can get it at 12:15 if you're there at 8 in the morning because they order it and they bring it in. So I have noticed that.
But to your point, back to the Ace Hardware and Home Depot, sometimes I'm shopping at Ace because I know there's this little old retired man that works there that is going to be able to answer the questions that I have and point me in the right direction and has some knowledge and skill. Or oftentimes if I go to Home Depot, good luck if you even find somebody who works there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That happens.
And so you're not necessarily getting the personalized touch that you are specifically at Ace. So
and to fairness,
and
Home
if you
Depot.
do find somebody, good luck at them knowing where it is half the time. Like
or what it is.
You can look it up online and find the aisle
but
that it's
that's
in.
what they do too. And
Right.
it's like, but that's not even what I'm asking for, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you see ads, we're talking about these ads coming up. How often is it where you see something where they talk about their guarantee, or they talk about the warranty, or their expert advice, or they talk about how many years? I mean, how often do some of those elements play into your purchases? Where somebody says we've got this lifetime guarantee, or we've been in business 50 years. Does that move you to purchase from one person or to the other, or a product, or more or less?
I don't think it moves the needle, but the years of service, it matters a lot more than any warranty stuff. I've had plenty of troubles with warranties and durations and what they actually cover.
Fine print.
Yeah, again, that's with products, that's with services, it's with whatever. But years of service normally, as long as it's still like family owned, that actually makes quite a big difference. I've noticed if they've been in the area for a long time and they know what to do, it matters more to me. But again, I don't know if it changes my selection, but I feel more confident, if that makes sense.
I feel like we actually kind of used that at the law firm as well. If you know anything about the town, one of our partners has lived here and worked here forever. And we recently started putting out that we have over 90 years of combined experience between all of our lawyers at our firm. And everyone's like, oh, you guys know what you're doing. And so we don't offer any guarantees and we don't have any warranties, but people genuinely do, I think, kind of come to our law firm because we have so much experience and because it's a small family-owned law firm.
That's important.
So it is, yeah. And then I was going to say, I know I just preached about being a small family-owned law firm, but one of the pull trigger purchases that I ever made was in downtown Boston, and I walked past a Doc Martens store, and they were offering a lifetime warranty on a pair of boots. And I was like, I have wanted Doc Martens my whole life, and they're offering a lifetime warranty, and it's right now. And that was the reason that I bought them in that moment. And they're called the lifetime they're the classic brown Doc Marten boots. And I've owned them my whole life. And I completely destroyed them once. And they gave me a brand new pair, shipped it to my house from the Boston store here in Wisconsin.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's a company that stands behind their product.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
pretty
But
awesome.
they've also been around forever.
Then there's that. That's a really good point. I mean, and when I was looking to purchase something, I was looking to buy a tractor, a really heavy duty type tractor, and I did my homework. I did the research. I looked at all the brands. I took a look at it, and the warranty and the reviews was huge. But the fact that everybody online said that they back up what they build. If you need a part and they can't get it, they're going to tell you they can't have it. They're not going to be able to get it for this amount of time, or you can use this alternative part. You can use this. Their reputation was just really, really good, from the fact that they service people and they had a good warranty, and I got good free financing for 8 years. Free financing. How often is that flip the trigger for you guys on purchases?
That's the reason we currently have one of our cars. Like when I was searching back before the rates got crazy, it was either go buy a used car for a lot basically in cash, or a big chunk would have been, and then finance some of it, or get a new car that was 0% financing for the life. So it was a 4-year 0%. So in my mind, other than any small fees that the dealership was doing, that is giving me free money to take the car off the lot. 0% is actually 0%. So we just paid per month to pay for the car over that time. So like, yeah, the monthly is expensive,
Yeah.
but I would have paid like however much money up front to basically walk out with a used car. So that like, yeah, that's a big purchase. And that was one where I was like, I don't even particularly need or want this type of vehicle, but it just was the best offer at the time. And we needed an SUV because our family went to 5.
Yeah, that'll drive that'll
Yeah.
that'll
Made it-
drive a
made it
decision
quick
to
and
get something real fast.
Yeah.
Oh.
Normally it does not.
Right.
Yeah, that was the one time I could think.
Right on.
I've done that with a furniture purchase.
Yeah.
Where it was offered free financing for 12 months, and I took it too.
You
It's the
use,
same
their
thing.
money for free.
Exactly. So it worked out well.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask a question now. There's all different types of marketings that's going to influence how you buy, right? So we've all mentioned social online. Is there any other things that you've seen that moves you to buy? Anything you get in the mail? Is there anything you see on Twitter? What are other ways that you say, oh, I should check that out? Like something, a clipper. Do you see a billboard? Radio ads. Anything else that drives you to make that conversion versus just what you see online?
The thing that comes to my mind is, for instance, I listen to a specific podcast. She's a woman in the health and wellness industry, and I've been listening to her podcast for about 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
And she will, typically on podcasts, there's those little ad breaks where commercials will come on. And she really does her own commercials, meaning like she'll advertise for other products, but she's the one speaking and talking about them. And she only picks products that she really personally gets behind and uses.
Okay.
So she will talk about, and I'm thinking, for instance, of a particular vitamin brand that I use now. I bought that solely on her recommendation because I know how much care and research goes into what she chooses to use for herself and her family.
Mm-hmm.
And so when she mentioned the specific type of supplement that she used, I went online, I looked at it, but I bought it because it was her recommendation and she's someone I respect and trust. And then a lot of these podcast people that sell stuff online will, if you use this code, you'll get a certain percentage off if you use my name or whatever. So that also sweetens the deal because you get a little bit off for the first purchase.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say in the same regard. So my first thought was almost like yard signs, like community, where for the kids, we found our daycare through like a local church, and it's been like so helpful where it's cheaper, it's close by, it grandfathers in all of our other kids, and we found that when we were just going to the farmer's market and they had a yard sign, and we didn't get it the first year and then got it ever since. So all of our kids have been grandfathered into the same like early care. But to your point, like when I'm actually shopping for that's not digital, but there's a digital version of that kind of feels like community, where if it's a podcast that you feel like you're connected to, or like for me, if it's YouTube or Reddit of somebody I know has done reviews of something, that still feels very community driven, where I
Right.
believe what they're saying and they get behind, or they create a product because they have the expertise. I normally get behind that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you?
I was gonna say I don't think that I've ever seen a billboard or a sign where I've immediately thought of buying something. But there was one time when my friends and I were driving and we were having a discussion and we couldn't figure out how to solve this problem. And as we were driving, we literally saw a billboard that was gonna help our problem. So we were like, oh, perfect, great idea. Let's research that. But I've never passed a billboard while I'm driving where I've been like, oh, I should buy that or I should check it out when I get home. Most of the time I pass it, I see it, I get home, and it is out of my mind.
Yeah, the only thing there was one billboard that if I lived in the state where we were at, or the area we were at, I would have called them because it was the best thing I ever saw. It was a billboard, and it just said, "We suck," and it was the name of the septic system.
Wait,
Nice.
that's funny.
And I was just like, that's awesome. I mean, I was right there. I would have called you and said, I really don't need to get a septic done, but that's a great ad. So that was, but things like that, is there ever been an ad like that where you saw it that you're just like, man, I remembered that ad. I saw it a long time ago and I was just like, I remembered that ad and I just got to call you. Has there ever been, I mean, sometimes there is and sometimes there not. I asked this to a lot of people, and if you have nothing, that's fine. That's the one I've seen that, and then it.
Probably nothing non-digital. I don't think there's
Yeah.
anything quippy enough that I've seen by the side of the road. or like a yard sign
Okay.
or a billboard. Digitally, there's always
Always
people.
something.
They always try to create something that's funny, that's
Yeah.
memorable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think I can remember anything physically.
And you may not have one.
No, nothing off the top of
I always
my
ask
head.
because we always try to be edgy.
I have one.
Okay.
Poblaki Paving. They are right across from the Majestic. They have a monthly competition. I don't know how I found this out, where they get to put whoever wins and comes up with like the funniest or punniest little catchphrase goes up on their billboard.
Oh,
And
yeah.
That's fun.
And it's not even like digital. It's like the letters that you have to like the plastic letters that you have to stick in. And then it stays up for the month. And I saw one, I can't remember what it said, but it made me laugh out loud. And then somebody later was like, "Oh, I need paving done." And I was like, "Actually,
See,
I just
that's
saw
funny.
Poblaki Paving."
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
So I
'cause
think that was it.
We did that for a client of ours a long time ago where they have a asphalt paving.
Yeah.
And we said, if your driveway's bad, it's your own asphalt.
Wait,
Nice.
that's funny.
That's
That is
really
funny.
funny.
And he did T-shirts up, and people still remember that. and that was a social media post we did, and it was great, and people remember it. So those things trigger you, when to buy, and you remember what you remember. So now I'm gonna move on to but thanks for all that information, 'cause that's pretty awesome. But I want to do some rapid questions here, and then we'll wrap this up. So, has there ever been a time when you had an advertisement that you purchased something that you regretted? That you're like, man, I fell into this. I saw this ad, I purchased it, and I wish I wouldn't have bought it.
Probably 20% of our Amazon purchases at this
Yeah.
point. Like, there's just so many things where it's the wrong size, the wrong color, the wrong shape, frequently. But I'd say not multiple, at least once a week, because now we purchase kind of for the whole family.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's been Tupperware containers that are the wrong size, like storage containers that are wrong size, lights that don't fit I know we have a lamp that we got for upstairs bathroom, does not fit the wall. Like, just will not. It's not even the same electrical. So it's just frequently.
All right.
Yep.
How about you?
I've had some purchases like that where the quality was
Yes.
so
Yeah.
horrible that you're like, I would never use this. This is not a true representation of
what you saw.
What exactly?
Yep.
It was, and I think in that same aspect, it's always clothes.
It
It's
seems
like-
like, it's close.
It's always clothes, and you'll buy something and you'll think it's really cute, and then it comes in the mail, and it is the cheapest fabric I've ever felt in my life.
right.
And I'm like, I don't think I can touch it too aggressively because it'll fall apart.
I think specifically for female clothing, that's
Yeah.
especially online. I've seen that a ton from my wife. Like, every time it's an online purchase, like, question mark whether or not it's going to be staying around, or
Yeah.
most of the time it goes back.
Yeah.
I think the one purchase that I ever made that I saw an ad or I saw some marketing that just made me go, this is the coolest thing that I ever saw, and I just got to try it. And it was the worst thing I ever bought. Did you ever guys see the commercial for the spray on grass? Where you spray, you can like spray
Yeah.
grass. You ever seen
But
that?
why would you buy that?
Because they marketed towards me.
What was the thing that wanted you?
Because it intrigued the ever living hell out of me. Because you would spray the stuff on it. I fell for the stuff that they sprayed on the board and that it stuck to the board and that it grew grass on the board. It doesn't grow grass when you spray
Right.
it. I thought that it would.
Oh my
See, and like my
gosh.
thing is,
So I paid like an exorbitant amount of money for this stuff. And all I got on
spray
there
paint
was
grass?
green hands that I couldn't get. I walked around with green hands for like a week because it stained my hands and I couldn't get it out. And I paid like $118 for this whole kit.
What?
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah. But
Okay, see, like my thing is like when I see stuff like that, I go, no.
You think.
you would
Yeah.
think.
Not Skip.
You know, that's yes. You know, if Emma was on this, she would be sitting there going, "You are the people that they market
Yes.
to,
Yeah.
and you are the reason why they're still in
And they're
business."
successful. Yeah, I was
And they're
gonna say.
successful because people just like you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That made me just think of years ago. They had for like balding men. They had that spray that you could spray on your head, and
Yes,
I was gonna say that's
Yeah.
tough. You're that also the target audience.
I bought it.
did you? Really?
I did.
Oh, 100%.
No, you didn't.
I bought it.
Oh my gosh!
I remember you
Yeah.
buying it.
That's because I did. I bought
What
it.
did it?
It
Look
was not
like?
good.
Of course it wasn't. Because why would spray on hair be a thing?
But you know what, Skip? The amount of stuff that you've bought that probably falls in that category, you could have bought a plane ticket to Turkey and fixed the problem. Like,
Probably.
yeah.
But I would. You were with us. We were on. I don't know where we were. We were on vacation, and I was a late night thing, and I bought a Magic Bullet.
The
Because
blender?
when they first came out, they were selling them online, and I bought the Magic Bullet online, and I got this. It was four easy. Okay, here it is. I had 4 easy payments of
Can you clarify
$59.99.
what you mean by
Yeah,
that?
you mean a blender, yeah?
The blender.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
another term
There's
for
another kind
It's
of
not
magic
so-
bullet out there.
It's not that type of Magic Bullet. It was the Magic Bullet blender where you could blend stuff and turn it upside down and put the caps on.
I'm
and you
glad
could
my
drink it.
mind wasn't the only one I was
Yeah.
bringing up.
You
We all went
guys, oh my gosh! In any event, oh man! All right,
Kind of fits the same purchase
it
pattern.
really kind of does because you use the Magic.
I just
No,
meant the timing.
Moving on,
Moving
stopping on the Magic Bullet. But no, they had this commercial for these blenders when they first came out, and they were amazing. But I had 4 easy payments of $49.95. But it was one of the best things I ever bought because these Magic Bullet things were great. I mean,
Yeah, those
they were
actually
They are
turned out to be
actually-
good.
So that
Those
was
are
one of the
nice.
good things that I did buy. So I'm chalking that one up in
I
the
feel
category
like you
that worked.
still spent. That's $200 though. You can
Every
When
once
they
in a
first
while,
came
it's a
out.
nugget,
Relax.
and most of the time it's pretty not great.
Yeah,
I
when
mean,
I've had some success.
picture
stories.
State Fair every year, the entire expo. Like that's
Literally.
just a walking advertisement for stuff you shouldn't buy. Largely, like every once in a while, you're probably gonna somebody probably has a booth of something really good to buy there. But for the most part, you've got like a dude pulling a worm through a CD. Like I know
The
our family has
rubber lint rollers at the State Fair work really, really well.
great. I know people have bought shoe cleaning stuff that barely
Right.
that just dyes your shoes the wrong color. Like there's just so many tables there that are like, oof,
Yeah.
that's tough.
You know why? And that's why Kathy keeps me out of that area of State Fair.
That's smart.
That's
Because
good call.
I'm the guy that's going shika-dink, shika-dink. Let's run it through. All right, so let's go back. Let's talk about this. What is the best piece of advice? Doesn't have to be marketing, but the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
Oof.
Deep.
Yeah. Whoa.
Doesn't it have to be marketing.
Could be marketing.
related?
No, I always like to ask this question because people draw from it.
For me, it definitely is. All challenges are an opportunity for growth.
Nice.
I think the best thing that somebody told me probably like right before COVID, like early 2020, and it kind of changed my life, was the way that you think about yourself is the way that everybody else is thinking about themselves. No one's paying attention to you. You're so worried about yourself and the way that other people are looking at you. I guarantee you everybody else around you is thinking the exact same thing. No one's paying attention to you. Stop caring about it. So,
All
which
right.
like since then I have like maybe like gone a little crazy because I don't really care anymore.
And I visited 28 more states since then. No, I'm kidding.
I've also gotten that same piece of advice. That was
Yeah.
really helpful. I used to have to do a ton of presentations for work, and that one always helped calm me down. Where it's like, no, like you're always super hypercritical of everything you're doing, and people have that same thing going on in their head. Or it's like maybe there's a group of people that all have to give a presentation. Half the time you're not even listening to what the people said before you because you're worried about your own. And it's
Right.
like if you keep that same mindset while you're doing the thing, like you kind of realize you're just like do your best. So
Yeah. And I feel like the people are like, you're so worried about you think about yourself because you're so worried that you're going to embarrass yourself.
yeah.
Like, be embarrassed. I love it. I love being embarrassed. Like, as you should be. You should own it. At least you're being yourself. If you're embarrassed, you're being authentic. And like
Exactly.
at the end of the day, that's what you should be doing all
Your
the time.
authentic self.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, that wasn't going to be my advice, but that's pretty good advice too. Just be your authentic
Be
self.
your authentic self. All right.
I was going to say,
Go ahead.
my only one is like, yeah, don't worry about things you can't control. Like, I know when I was a young kid, it's like, oh, don't be late to work to laser tag, right? And I'd hit a train, and like, there's no way I can't be late now. Nobody ever cared. It's like, you could spend most of your day worrying about stuff that might happen, and then 10% of it happens, and nobody cared. So it's like, you just went through your whole day being worried, and now your day's fine. Like,
That's
it
right.
was fine the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, you're the problem.
Well,
Very good.
to tie it back, 50 Cent said you can either worry or pray, but you can't do both. So,
There you go.
Yeah.
David, okay, so what that's very way to go, 50 cents. So let's talk any book, podcast, or something you've watched online that you think people should be really watching or paying attention to. Could be a book, could be a movie, could be a show, resource, anything that you've read that's just like eye-opening.
Seeing as this is kind of an interview, Hot Ones on YouTube is an interview show.
Love Hot
Yeah,
Ones.
show.
it's
Love Hot
just
Ones.
it's just really good because it really like breaks down all the interview barriers. Where it's like once you start like getting into the hot sauce, like these are people that are media trained, and half the time they're like spitting in a garbage can, and it's like it really opens everybody up. But like the host also does a good job of actually researching.
He really does.
He really
He's a great
cares.
interviewer.
So it's like over the course of the life of the show, everyone's like, oh, I know that I can now be respected, whereas everyone thought it was a gimmick at first.
Yeah,
but like
no.
the idea behind that is, I don't know, just worth watching.
I would.
Some of my favorite clips are
Yeah,
from
I
that
would
show.
die at the bomb.
Oh,
Oh,
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
I'd be
Yeah.
dead at the bomb.
Actually, I don't know what I'm
make
saying.
it.
I'd die on the third one.
I could make it past that one, but I would never make it. I would never make it to the bomb.
I'd make it, but I think I would die later.
I would die.
Like, that'd be a
Yeah.
problem.
You'd be
So
running the estate. What about you? Anything? Book or a broadcast show, anything like that?
Well, Love Island started 2 days ago, so that's what I'm currently watching. But
All right.
I also finished the book. Can I swear?
Yeah.
Okay. I also finished the book Buy Yourself the Fucking Lilies recently.
Oh, what's that about?
It's really just about, like, kind of what we were talking about, like, being your authentic self. Because, like, I just love people who are so authentically themselves. And I've always been so drawn to them. And I realized that I wasn't doing that for myself. And I read this book, and it was very much just about do the things that you want that are going to make you happy. Because at the end of the day, the way that you're happy is going to make everybody else around you happy. Because you become a better person for it. So
There you go.
I highly recommend that book. It was
All right.
very, very good.
All right. How about you?
Let's see. Well, the podcast that I mentioned I listened to earlier, which I absolutely love, her name is Rachel Brathen, and her podcast is called From the Heart. And what I love is she's just so completely authentically herself. And it just inspires me to know that to be successful in life, you don't have to try to be anybody else or anything else but you, and bring your own unique gifts to this world because people need them.
All right. Perfect. So if somebody could take one thing away from today's podcast, and then we talked about with buying, what would be one thing that they should take away from today with people that are listening to it today?
Maybe do your homework before you buy.
Yeah. But you?
Maybe I was gonna say the reviews. We talked a little bit about this. The bots, like, make sure if you're gonna go through reviews, especially on Amazon or Google, that you're feeding through and you know the audience that they're pulling from, and make sure that you can verify where the reviews are coming from.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say on the line of like do your homework. It's a little bit more than like the surface level stuff now. Like it's almost like we've reverted back a little bit, where this is gonna make me seem way older and I never used one. But like Google now feels more like a phone book than like phone books did back in the day, where it's like you're just almost calling a random number half the time. Like if you're in my local area, what do I need? Like the first 5 again are sponsored something or another, like trying to get you to buy. Whereas like you probably had better luck back in the day, like just putting your finger in a phone book and calling somebody and getting a real person. So yeah, you just really have to look out for things when you're searching. If you want something specific, know what you want, know what you're looking for as much as you can.
And ask around.
Yeah.
There's other people.
Yeah, ask your
Use,
friends.
use your network, I think, is what I took
community
from that.
network people.
Yeah.
That's a much better takeaway.
Oh, also, I have a pavement guy for you. Don't leave. I'll give you the number.
Okay, awesome.
And see how that's all works. And that's a great way to end it. Thanks you guys for coming on and talking about this.
Thank
I
you.
greatly
Thanks for
appreciate it.
having us.
Thank
All right,
you.
See you guys. Thanks.